Have a drink on me, you know we're about to.
Dunkin' deals. Mustang's sitting here waiting on his estimate. Got to find out what the customer's doing. How you doing? That's what's more important. Subscribers and viewers. Customers are actually very important, but it's still funny. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. If you're a little confused about what's going on, so am I. You're not alone. I'm trying to plug in the custom lighting. Trying to figure that out. Let's get the shop open up. What we're gonna do here is sort out the clutter, straighten things up a little bit, fix the shop, fix the cars, fix the classics, start working on the project truck and getting it painted. You gotta watch for those videos, they're separate. I have a whole project truck series for those of you who might not know. It's gonna be slow today, I got a feeling. Parking lot's completely empty except for one Ford Escape that I think we might have worked on last week or two. Someone worked on a red one. It looks familiar, let's just put it that way. We're babbling. It's about 73 degrees already, 74 maybe. It's gonna be hot. I think we'll hit 90 today. Summer is here. I'm gonna do what I can. Too. Look at that door, huh? Can you see it? We're doing what we can. We're gonna make it work. We'll find some things to do. We'll stay busy. We're gonna learn a thing or two, have some fun, get some people on the road, maybe work on the Mustang. The problem on that car will be getting parts. If you saw last week's video on Friday, I pulled it in at the end of the day, looked it over real quick for about 15 minutes, wrote a big old estimate. I haven't figured out the turn signals yet, and the dash, there's no lighting on the dash when you turn the ignition key on. Kind of strange, so we're gonna have to sort that out. That'll be the last thing on the list. Let's finish getting this place open up and get started. What do you say? Stay tuned. Be prepared for a slow day. We are playing with the Mustang. I got the flashers on, and they just turn on the lights. They don't blink. So there's something going on with the flasher itself. We're gonna find out if it's got hot rod wiring and stuff, or that don't look right. Does Ford have that exposed like that? I thought there was a cover on it or something. Oh, it's a tie wrap holding the cover up, and the wires are just sticking out. Okay. I'm gonna dig in and find the flasher on this thing. None of the fuses are blown. Found out something interesting. These starter solenoids on these Mustangs. This is not made for a car. This is like a marine or for an air compressor. But you can use them. It's called a constant duty or a heavy duty cycling switch. So that's why this is grounded. That's the only way it'll work, power and ground. The case isn't grounded. The original ones, the case is grounded, and one of these is for ignition feed while cranking, and the other one turns it on and off, which is this wire. So we got to figure out what they want to do with that. I got to figure out if this will run without this connected. Once it starts, if I pull that off and it stays running, then this wire was moved somewhere. It's got MSD stuff, so it's, you know, we're going down the hot rod rabbit hole. We'll see what happens with that. Let's take a look and see if there's a flasher under the dash. They're talking to the customer, how serious is he about getting the neutral safety to work, because it could be talking about rewiring things, and it could get in hours and hours and hours. Uh-oh. No flasher. Not like a GM, the flasher's right on the fuse panel, or even aftermarket fuse panels come with the relay for the flasher right on the fuse panel. The way those flashers work, they get hot and open, and they cool off and close, and that's how it makes the lights blink. But I gotta find that son of a gun. It's around here somewhere. We'll get it. We just got to be able to twist like a little pretzel. They said, Jimmy, can you take a look at this 2015 Silverado on the alignment rack? I said, does it need an alignment? No. It won't go without clunking and popping and making noises. And they think there's something wrong with the four-wheel drive shift motor. And I'm saying, very possible. I heard them pulling it in, and tires are trying to squeal, and drivetrain's bound up. So it's in four-wheel drive, but it's not supposed to be. We're going to take a look, see if there's any codes first thing. It's 52,600 miles on this thing. It's like brand new. Poor thing. It's like a 4. You know, you got to be comfortable. You get cold days in Central Florida. You got to have a blanket. Really low miles. Oil change overdue, 1,100 miles. And the oil change warnings on the dash. But they didn't ask about that. We're going to try to make the car drivable first, and then we'll get to the maintenance. Turn the key on. Oh, stop. I'll shut the door. I know you're going to be sad. Nobody wants that. Enter. First thing we'll do is look for codes, something obvious like that. Then we'll try to actuate that shift motor and see if we can feel that move or see it move. If it doesn't, then we'll check for power and ground. It's a pretty common failure on these. So I've seen them come in with broken transfer cases because people try to keep driving them because it's expensive. So let's get another trip through the matrix. We already went through one, I thought. I don't know what happened, but it backed out. It's not woke up yet this morning. It's a little sleepy. There it is, 2015 Silverado. Generous Motors Corporation. Change oil soon. Dismiss. Four-wheel drive service. Uh-oh. We're going to go through a full module scan, see what's going on with that, pinpoint this issue. And we'll look for service bulletins and stuff too, although this truck's basically 10 years old now. It's hard to believe 2015 was that long ago. See if there's any drivetrain codes, transfer case module codes, things like the chassis control module. We'll take a look at those. Once this is done and I send my report, we'll come back and take a look. Transfer case. Well, we've got chassis codes related to trailer brake and brake control module, range actuator position, range position correlation, and the transfer case control module power circuit low voltage. Invalid data from transfer case module. It's saying, hey man, this thing not supposed to be in four-wheel drive. It's telling me it might be. BCM's got a bunch of codes for tire sensors and dimming light sensors. The TPMS sensors all have low voltage code. That's pretty cut and dry. Fog lamps short to ground. I sent the report already. So let's go ahead into the, oh, look at all these codes. My goodness gracious. The ones that are current are the ones we're really focused on. These have been cleared and reset, passed and failed. Current is the transfer case module and the range position. Let's go in the transfer case module and see what it wants it to be in and what it is. Transfer case data. I want to see automatic range indicator command, four-wheel drive, high range indicator command, low range indicator command. Front axle engagement is a separate one. Current, direction command. Now sometimes you could be looking at a locked out motor because it's not sure what's going on. It won't let it move. I got a lot of range actuator position PIDs. So we're going to bring some up that we think are related. Transfer case commanded position. Transfer case, well, there's a lot of range position sensors. Let's just bring them all up. Let's go like this, take a look at some of this data and see what we find. Automatic range indicator command on, and it is on. We'll go to two-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive off. Let's go four-wheel drive. I wonder if the engine has to be running. It's not switching at all. Range actuator command 0. Range current 0. Let's go like this. Fire it up. But the battery sounds weak too. I got to do an inspection, of course. Sometimes they got to be on neutral. Oh, something happened. Two-wheel drive. I'm moving the control from auto. Transfer case command. Four-wheel drive auto. I should go to two-wheel drive on that data PID. Does not change. Let's go to four-wheel drive and see if that changes. Four-wheel drive high. I'd have four-wheel drive low. Commanded position is not changing. So now I'm going to try to clear the codes and see if that's a factor. A lot of times if it has a code, it just does not let things work. Now if it's a hard code, of course, it's going to come right back. Read fault code, DTC display. Range, position, correlation. This ignition cycle failed. So we're either going to have an open actuator motor assembly, someone left it unplugged, could even be damage to the transfer case. We'll have to take a look at the fluid and all those kinds of things. Let's get this thing up in the air and see what's going on. It's not responding at all. Before I do that though, I do want to, transmission in neutral, I do want to try to force an actuator command from the scan tool and see if anything happens. Range actuator stationary. So let's go clockwise, communicating, clockwise, clockwise, stationary, counterclockwise, exceeded, time expired, counterclockwise. All right, that's mad. I just wanted to try that really quick. Sometimes you can force it and it'll work, but because of a sensor, it won't do it on its own, but that's not the case. Oh, the old girls from up north. Up in Eric O land. Look at that son of a gun. This is our transfer case actuator motor. It is plugged in. Now, this is a speed sensor, this could be position sensor too. 3 wires. This has loads of wires, main, power and ground, sensor leads and stuff to tell it what it's doing. My first thing is I want to pull the plug out of here and see if the transfer case is still looking good. I think that's about an 18. Try to get an idea what the fluid looks like. A lot of times you don't know how long it's been driven, the damage is done. And if you sell just the motor to try to fix it, I'm assuming that's what it probably is. We'll have to diagnose it, of course, we're gonna. But if you just do the motor because you find out it's bad, put it on, and then you find out the transfer case is bad, and people get really sad. It's not that you added that problem, it's that they want to know up front that it was going to be $5,000 or whatever the cost is for a transfer case nowadays. I've seen them $800 and I've seen them $6,000, $7,000. So let's get some tools. 18 goes on there. Just gotta convince it that it's okay. It's a little bit over full. We know the transfer case might be in trouble. We'll have to diagnose this motor and recommend doing a full drain on the fluid to make 100% sure of what's going on inside there. Tiny little bit of metallic metal is already bad, but if you see slivers and stuff, that means it's way bad. So there's always gray areas, and I think we might be in one of those. Don't hit them hard. Sometimes a little love tap might do something. All right, we got some testing to do on this bad Z71 Johnny. These have problems with the transfer case control module, with the pin fit. They also have problems with those transfer case motors going bad, and they also have transfer cases that fail and jam the motor so the motor can't move it. We're gonna do some more digging. I brought the scanner out and turned the key on. The battery is sketched, so it might kill the battery, but that's a bridge for another time. We'll see what's going on with this transfer case motor. Let's see if we can hear it making noises down here and struggling. All right, I ran through the code clear a couple times. We'll go into actuation test, transfer case control, range actuator. And I just want to hear if this thing does anything. I'm going to feel it and all that cool stuff. Counterclockwise. Mad about that. Clockwise. Mad about that. It's not doing anything. Alright. Let's try a different test. Transfer case range. 4-wheel drive. Device limits exceeded. 2-wheel drive. What's happening? It's trying. Commanded state. Four-wheel drive low. Device limits exceeded. Four-wheel drive high. Device limits exceeded. Neutral. Device limits exceeded. Now it's not doing anything. We'll back out. We'll back out again. We'll go to clear codes one more time. Actuation test. You know, we can try, let's do special functions. We'll do range actuator learn. And I'm going to listen for that to do anything too. It's going to ask me if I want data, I think. And I'm just going to say nope. Learn. Device limits exceeded. So yeah, this thing is not even moving. I don't even feel it trying. I'm going to put a voltmeter in there next and see if it's sending voltage out from the transfer case control modules by the gas pedal, just above it in the dash. We can check for pin fit and things like that. It's going to get a little more time consuming than a half hour, but we'll see what we can do. Fast and Furious, idiot. I mean, bro. Sorry, I wasn't in the mood for that right now. I'm trying to listen to stuff. I put it in the learn mode. What it was doing, it was mad. I didn't have it in neutral. I forgot to do that. So I put it in neutral, and it made a racket, and it was trying to do stuff. So we're gonna see commanded state learn. I'm waiting to see if it says complete. I did hear the motor moving around. Now, if it fails to learn, the fact that it's moving, you know, we're headed towards a transfer case busted problem. You can take the motor off and try to turn the shaft yourself. And like I said too, we'll have to drain the fluid and see if we see slivers of metal or anything really bad. It still says learn. That's kind of strange. I would think it would say complete. We're going to give it a minute. It stopped moving and clattering and chattering. I think I just felt a little something. We'll back out and we'll check for codes. Well, isn't that interesting? No codes, system normal. That's really weird if that fixed it. We can look and make sure it's got the latest update in the module too. I got my wiring diagram and my pins all labeled in case I had to measure it, but I heard that motor moving, so we know the motor's capable of moving. Now, see if we lost our four-wheel drive codes after starting it up. Okay. Release the parking brake. DTCs. No DTCs. What about if we try moving it two-wheel drive? Put it in neutral. Two-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive shift in progress. Back to automatic. Four-wheel drive shift in progress. Interesting. DTCs. No DTCs. So clearing the codes and doing a relearn, it's working again. That leans me heavily towards the service bulletin they have about the connector pin fit at the TCCM, transfer case control module. And I still do want to look at the fluid as well. I'm going to drive this thing around the parking lot and see if the clunking and skipping thing they're talking about is gone. We can do that right now. Put this in a safe space. We will, if it turns without dragging front tires, and yeah, it rolls nice. Yeah, all right. I think this thing's fixed. There's another possibility on these. When you take long trips, they're saying the sensors can wander, and the programming is so sensitive that it sets that code and disables the transfer case. What's really weird is this thing was in four-wheel drive, because they said it was clunking and popping the tires and making weird noises trying to turn in the parking lot. Either someone put it in four-wheel drive, it doesn't normally use it, and things were kind of all jammed up in the works, or that connection and pin fit issue, or the software programming is going to need to be done. And I'm guessing it's the software programming, but right now it's no longer doing what the customer's asking about. So let me go talk to them up front, see if they want me to get into the TCCM and look for connector pin fit and test all those pins. It's not included in a normal diagnosis, it's just too time consuming. We could also tell them, put this thing in two-wheel drive and don't mess with it, and you'll be okay. After we check the transfer case fluid, of course. And we'll see what happens with this one if they want to go further. Ooh, look at this family truckster. It's an odd one. Customer request, coils and spark plugs. 120,000 miles on a 2020 Dodge Caravan. A little rough around the edges. Low rating of 3. Drives in a very comfortable seating position. Can't say I blame him. Must be a really big guy or something, or a girl. But the seats all the way back and reclined, and the wheels all the way up. I could hardly drive it in, but I don't like moving people's stuff if I can avoid it. Let's put in their coils and plugs for them. Let's get to work. Got to pull a plenum, but they're pretty straightforward on these. Also take advantage of our luxury lighting from the Astro company. Look at that thing. That's easy to get to. These are actually, it's a nice job. The only thing that's a little sketchy on these is sometimes getting this air inlet off of here. It like pops in back here and goes on the throttle body at the same time. It can be a little tricky, but I wouldn't call it hard. We are going to take some stuff out of our way, like this hose. We're going to get this clamp off. We're going to get to work. That's what we're going to do. Stop talking about it. Here working on the project truck on Sunday for about 6 hours. Start making videos for you guys on that thing. And I'm anxious to get it painted. Actually, now I'm kind of, you know, like a little kid. You get something, you want to get something, and you want to get it. Now that I've decided to paint it, everything's getting out of control. I'm trying my best to avoid it. But started sanding the cowl side panels, and there's rust in them that I didn't see before because I stripped all the paint off. Apparently there was paint in the rust, so we're gonna do what we gotta do on that thing. The front brace is probably the trickiest part, and the engine's a little warm. So we're not in a giant rush to get this thing ripped apart while it's hot. We'll get a needle nose, start popping some of these connectors off. There is little lock tabs you got to pop off places and pull these out. There's also a brace back there. Sometimes I'll just take the 13mm down off the bottom and leave the brace on the manifold. Other times, depending on my mood, I'll take the 2 10s off the manifold and loosen the bottom one so the brace can move and stay on the head. Just depends on the mood you're in at the time. Why the customer wants coils, I don't know. I drove it in, it runs good. Me personally, I'd rather keep my OEM coils till there's something wrong with them. There's the 2 10s. Got to get those off of there. It's a little hot, so I'm using an assistant. Boom. Pull these accoutrements out of the way. Condiments. You got your hamburger, your hot dog, you got your ketchup and mustard. Now the problem is, they will tell you to loosen this front bracket. It's on like the exhaust or something silly. So this rear bracket's a lot easier to loosen so that you can get the studs. You got to turn this bracket off of the studs. The 13 I'm talking about is right under this. You pull this off, get that 13 loose, which looks like someone's already been in there.
Sorry.
Yes. Hey Sharon.
How are you, honey?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, this is my last week.
Uh-oh. You're going to Advance Auto Parts.
No.
Oh.
I'm going to Canada with Pierre. He told me he's going next week.
Oh, you're going with him? Good for you. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
How's
Have
everything?
fun.
How's Marianne?
Good, she's doing good.
She's good.
Maybe she'll be working in Napa soon. She's getting a little bored too.
Yeah, I know. It's boring. I remember retirement was so boring.
Yeah, you can only sit home so much.
You can only clean so much, you know?
It's nice the first few months, that's about it.
But I'm not going back to corporate.
Yeah, I believe you. I wouldn't do that either.
And I can't work at home.
Yeah, because you don't feel like you're really...
Yeah, then my home becomes an office.
Yeah, there's no change. You're not getting it.
And I tried it for a few months and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's different. You need a little change of pace of office or something.
Yeah.
Well, how funny.
Say hi to Marianne.
Yeah, I will say hi to her. She's,
So you're still working.
oh yeah, I'm 7 days a week. Alright, good seeing you. Have fun. I thought I remembered it rolling off the studs, but that's alright. I'll roll this stud off. How about that? It's only a few more turns away. Probably should have got my power tools. I don't know what it is, but there are a lot of things I'll embrace the technology, and a lot of things I'll just go, well, it's way over there. See? A little bit of flap and it's out. Now, couple connectors and all these 8mm bolts. Plenum's out. You just got to slide these studs up out of that bracket in the front. Putting a swivel in here. I don't fit in some of these holes, so I just use a straight setup. And these are the ones I often see a bolt or two stripped or forgotten. They only get like 80 inch-pounds or so. Got to look it up. A lot of sand. In my haste, I didn't use my blow gun yet. We'll take care of that right now though. I know one thing, when the car comes in running good, asking for a tune-up, you don't want it to leave running worse. $10mm. Let's see what kind of sparkies we got in here. Oh, they weren't terribly tight. Oh yeah, it definitely needs a tune-up. Champions, and you see how the electrode is worn at an angle? You're not supposed to do that. Not loose, but not quite as tight as I'd prefer. Let's put it that way. I'm going to keep these OEM coils in case he comes back with a misfire. We'll put coils in it. Man, that one's really funky. The OE coils are better than the aftermarket ones. Even if it says, even if there's a piece of paper in the box that says meets or exceeds OEM specifications, that's what we call, professionals in the business, we call that poppycock. Someone has got an infatuation with auto light, but got a lifetime warranty. Iridium Ultra, come on now. I'm gonna start using these in all my cars too. When that Tundra's ready for a tune-up, you know what's going in. I always look and make sure there's no problem with the ground being boogered up. A couple people were mentioning anti-seize, but anytime you see this silver, it's nickel plated. There's no anti-seize needed. Come from the factory without it. It goes in without it. You can use a tiny bit if it makes you feel better, but I mean a very tiny bit. I try not to put it near the ground strap. Put it opposite the ground and just put a little bit. Don't go past the last thread. Keep it down here and just a drop. If it makes you feel better. But it can actually cause problems. So you gotta be careful with it. It's like dielectric grease, you know? A lot of Fast and Furious fans out there. It's been, I haven't had the camera on for most of them. The guy went by about an hour ago and the car was doing a snap, crackle, pop thing, really obnoxious. It doesn't make you happy. I'm going to put a ratchet on these, make sure they're all good and tight. You can use this too, but the internet doesn't like it, so I do it off camera. I took the bolts out of the old coils, but it comes with new bolts. That's awesome. Change out these plenum gaskets. Comes with 2 sets. And these have a bump in them for the injectors, which we don't have, so it must be that set. Bless you, my son. That sounded like a racetrack belch.
Oh man. That was looking good. Processed dyes and...
There you go, man. RFK is going to be down here to arrest you in half an hour. You're going to prison. I saw you eating that red dye number 40. Or was that blue? I don't remember. No, the blue one's good for you. It's healthy. And the red one kills you. That's what it is.
See this whole thing here? This is the problem. You want something racetrack, sir?
No, thanks.
You want anything racetrack? Really? No.
He's like, unless they got something they didn't have 10 minutes ago.
I turn around and you see him like this in front of his computer.
He's a big dancer. Him and Michael Jackson, they're buddies.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. Bill and Michael Jackson go way back. Stop horsing around, get back to work. I gotta put the manifold into these studs, drop it down. But before I do it, I'm gonna put the foam in. That's why I left it on top of the intake. I have heard sometimes people will forget it. Let's go. Now these should all thread in by hand. I don't ever start them, especially in these. This is worse than aluminum. This is plastic. That lower manifold and upper manifold are plastic. If you want to have a bad day, try stripping a couple of these out. Now, my gun is on 3, but if you have any doubts or you haven't done this a lot, then I would go down to 1. I hope the Beatles don't show up in my background music. I'll have to edit the video, the music out of the video again. I got a copyright strike, and they let me know that because I had 6 seconds of someone's music in my video in the background, that any money it makes would go to that artist. That's a pretty good setup. So of course I just edited the video, took the 6 seconds out and re-uploaded it. You'll notice that. I think it was Wednesday last week. Well, anywho, I still haven't gotten a Tecton torque wrench. I'm gonna have to buy one eventually because it's not happening. back in. And this goes on the back. Almost done. It's not even lunchtime. I think the Suburban, we're going to do programming to make sure it's got the latest update in the torque and the transfer case module, and then we're going to flush the fluid. I prefer to do it the other way around, but they can only get a 1:30 appointment, and that's while I'm at lunch. So they'll work the programming, and I'll come back and flush the transfer case. And then I'll update you guys on how it all went. There's another vacuum hose somewhere. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna fire this thing up. All right, and it still runs good. That's nice. Anytime you do a tune-up, you want it to still run good. Just maintenance. It's weird that he wanted the coils, but it's one of those things. Not up to me. Let's take this for a little drive, get something to eat, and then see what's next. All right, the wrap is performing the service we requested as we speak. It's plugged into power, keeping the battery charged with a clean charger, and working through the Wi-Fi remotely. So rather than us paying for a subscription every time we got to program a car, we pay monthly to use this box, and they do it for us. They just tell you on the phone, turn the key on, do this, do that, and then you're done. It usually takes about 30 to 45 minutes most of the time. So once we get done with that, we're gonna look at the transfer case fluid and change the fluid. We'll make sure there's no big chunks of metal or anything weird like that in it. Driving it, it seems okay. And like I said, I wish I could have done the service first, but we'll do it after. No big deal. And we'll have the latest software. So kill two stones with one bird. Luckily, I do some painting. I got some paint strainers around. So we're going to strain the fluid into this. Minus the sand. Sand out of there. The bottom of the oil drain is getting pretty banged up. Apparently people like letting the lift down on it, so that'll be the next thing I gotta fix. We'll be alright. Hopefully it doesn't go too fast, but we'll see. See anything tragic. No big chunks, only little ones. Yeah, we're in good shape here, so that's good. This holds about 2 quarts of automatic fluid. I get my little hand pumper dealy. Instead of setting the big one up, I'll just use the little one and fill it till it comes to the level of that top plug that I took out earlier. Chunks in there. Perfect. There is some metal on the drain plug. So it's not happy, but I've seen worse. No large fragments. Let's go grab the fluid. This bottle fits my little pump, so go ahead and get this back together. Oh, that's what it's supposed to look like, all cleaned up. Nothing horrendous, but a little more than I'd like to see. I've had them where I pull this plug out, chunks of gears and stuff are coming out of the hole, so not bad. So about that workout.
And that's the way to pump it up.
Pump up the jam, pump it up.
Fire Pia stumping.
The party's thumping.
Pump it up a little smaller.
Get the party going on the dance floor. You know where the party's at. It's gonna start dripping out of that transfer case any second, I know it. It's about 1.5. Oh, there it goes. Boom. Don't be like a brand new truck. Gotta clean up the mess, that's how we roll. Probably should leave it on the rusty metal, but I don't want to see drips on the floor. I go, ever since you worked on it, it's leaking. New tires. Me and Jace just mounted them. The guy said, get and put tires on it while you got it there. We even put a new one on the spare. I didn't film it because tires are boring, but worked out nice. We're gonna do the exhaust too. Remember I showed you it had no muffler? It's actually fairly quiet with just the catalytic converter. He goes, just do the catalytic converter and everything. I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with the catalytic converter. So parts are on the way. We're gonna be doing exhaust on it too. Then maybe he'll come get it. We'll see. Anybody remember what those are for? Ta-da! We're gonna get the tube in here. We're gonna get those braces in here. We're gonna try to get some coolant in this thing. I don't know if we'll get it done today, but we're gonna play with it a little while. Got about an hour left in the day. Pipe's almost in. Got another clamp over here somewhere. Now we gotta get these hangers up here. It'll kind of clean up the mess once we get all the hangers in there, I think. I'm gonna put my 10mm nuts all over this thing. A couple more of those. One of the ones they got me is wrong, but I'm gonna see what I can do to make it happen. Some of the tubes go underneath, some of the tubes go above and get trapped. So the wire goes in this, the metal tube goes in the second one. This goes in here. The little one goes here. This medium one goes here. And that pushes up there. Need 2 more bolts for that. There's slots in here, so I gotta push it up to keep everything straight. I did have to find some bolts in my toolbox because a lot of the bolts are missing. There's an upper rubber piece that's still in there though. We didn't mess with that. Oop. That's gonna go like that too. Ding. Oh, this one goes underneath too. Apparently as you get each one in, they get a little tighter. I'm gonna dig up 2 more bolts. This thing won't drag the ground when it gets driven again. In the morning. That is nice. And because there's supposed to be a tray, I feel compelled to also put a tie wrap or two in case some of these pop out, these bottom ones. These seals.
Yeah, I think T48. I figured that normally stuck all that stuff.
It's a pre-mix, so we don't have to put any swamp water, I mean distilled water into it. Thanks for all the noise, by the way. We're filming over here. We got a hot set. Oh, thank you. It was like 20 minutes a wheel. Vacuum fill. Some say it's still really hard to get the air out of these, so we should be heading for an adventure. There you go. That's all.
One more. This thing is Thursday.
Oh yeah?
$17.
17 quarts?
That's what I thought before, but give me 2 seconds to double check.
That's over 4 gallons. Holds a vacuum nice, want to see? Frankie's saying he saw in the forum. 18 quarts, that's 4.5 gallons. Because 4 times 4 is 18. I want to see if he says yeah. There you go. Ah! You passed the test. I think we might not have any more leaks. This 5-gallon bucket's almost full. Supposedly it'll take this whole bucket and 2 more quarts. Let's see. I don't want to lose a grip on the cooling system either. Lose my vacuum. I'm going to hold it on in case the vacuum weakens. That seal breaks and there's coolant in it. It makes a big mess trying to get a vacuum again. I also don't want my 5-gallon pail to go towards the bottom and be empty before we're done, but we'll see. I think if we get most of that coolant in there, we can fill the rest without too much trouble, I would hope. I'm no Ferrari engineer, but I'm going to guess that Fangio and Luigi know what they're doing. Can't be certain. That is 18 quarts. And it is still going. It's down to about here. And I intentionally don't have the fluid flow opened all the way up, because it seems to lose vacuum quicker but not necessarily allow time for the coolant. So try to go medium, if that makes sense. That's how it usually works for me. And this thing is taking that whole 5-gallon bucket. Is dropping off a little bit. I like that it held the vacuum so well. That's a good sign. Getting really low. There's probably 2 or 3 quarts left in the 5-gallon bucket. Didn't take the whole thing, so maybe there's a little air, maybe the internet's wrong, but it took about 4 gallons. Alright, I got the charger hooked up to this thing. Battery is 3.8 volts. AGM's already on. Soft start. Alright guys, tighten up loose ends, buttoning up the classics and exotics, trying to pay the bills. So actually a pretty good day. I didn't film the tires because I just thought that's kind of boring. You guys let me know what you're thinking. You want to see me mounting tires? Me and Jace mounted and he helped. Tell you what, that spare's heavy, especially when you're old. Thanks for watching. Torque the like button before you head out if you would. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new and you just found my channel. We've been getting a lot more activity on the channel and that support's really appreciated. You guys are awesome. Hope I see you in the next video.